Hello and welcome to Oakville Matters. Today we're going to talk about what recreation programs are resuming in Oakville now that we're moving from the pandemic stage to hopefully the endemic stage. And to help us do that is Andrea Bibby from the YMCA and Colleen Beswick from the Town of Oakville's Recreation Department. Welcome, Andrea, Colleen. Do you guys have any news for the parents and the big users of our recreation services at the town and the YMCA? Out of courtesy, Andrea, why don't we take the YMCA first?
Sure. Yes. Well, we've been happy to be reopened once again for the last month or so. And what we've really seen popular again is the swimming lessons. I think parents were really excited to get back into learning their children learning a life skill and the importance of it. We've actually this time we decided to have smaller class sizes, enhanced curriculum, and longer swim times. So that's really helped, and it's been great to see children back in our pools and in our facility. That would be one of them for sure.
Well, you've got a beautiful pool and also a wonderful walking track and quite a few rooms for kids' activities, day camps, and so on.
Yes.
Is everything coming back up? And what's the change now that the province has lifted the vaccination?
Yes, I know. And speaking of the vaccination, we were a vaccination site, for over the past 6 or 8 months last year, which was great that we were able to help the community that way. And then since we've reopened and regained use of our full space, the track has been popular, especially during these winter months. And we still have kept our wellness floor has spaced out equipment and is safe. The cleaning protocols are in place, but we've certainly seen an increase in the number of people coming back and feeling safe about coming back and using the facility. It's been great, especially I would say youth basketball has been something that's, it's good to see the kids playing just even drop-in basketball lately. There are a few programs that we were able to keep going during the pandemic, even virtually, like our Healthy Hearts program, and Parkinson's has been a program that we continued through the whole pandemic, and we're hoping in the future to get that group of people back into the facility when they feel comfortable, but at least we've been able to keep them healthy and active virtually during this time.
Every one of my friends who's had a cardiac issue has been a devoted walker on your track, and now that the town has couple of walking tracks, hopefully we'll get even more people walking. Colleen, what are we bringing back on at the town?
Yeah, we are, much like the YMCA, really excited to bring back our full range of program options for the community. So what this means is we're bringing back all of our specialty programs, all of our sports, all of our swimming lessons. Our arts and culture programs are also back in action, which is really exciting for the community. And then, of course, our day camps are still operating to provide that childcare need during school break times.
So what are we doing at the Y and at the town that's new and different as a result of what we've learned over the last 2 years of fighting the pandemic?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're doing a couple different things in our programs, and one of them is really focusing on the social development and the physical literacy for children. So that was one of the effects we saw from the pandemic, was with fewer opportunities for kids to get out of the house and into programs. Definitely, the ability for children to make friends with one another and have that social development was quite limited. So we are adjusting our programming plans to address those needs and trying to make sure that, we're helping our kids in the community, particularly the younger ones who might have spent most of their life in a pandemic so far.
Yeah. What about at the Y, Andrea?
Yeah, actually, what's similar to Colleen, we felt that physical literacy was an important factor, and through our active programs, we're currently running a Kid Fit program. So it's a Kid Fit yoga, and it was actually a program designed with Brock University to develop the physical literacy, and they do games and yoga and sports activities through that program. So that would be one example. But then we also, especially with our older youth, that mental health was a real concern and issue during this pandemic. And so we are going to be launching, it's called a Mind Pump program. So that is a program that does address mental health and mindfulness with youth through a supportive group experience and also supervised physical activity. So they'll be doing specific things each week and learning exercises and mental health activities that they can do to help them with that. And from the other spectrum, so we're kind of going from the young children to the youth, but also we thankfully were able to get a grant and we're able to offer a Jairus dance program. So that's a fun mind and body program that emphasizes mobility, balance, and strength for older adults and will help improve cognitive and mobility impairments. So trying to a little bit of something for everyone.
Yes, I keep a poster on the inside of my head that I look at all the time that reminds me exercise makes you feel good.
Yes.
So
yes, and we've noticed actually quite a lot of I guess seniors or older adults that have been returning. That's a large population of people that have returned or were first to return back to our facility, which has been great. But they said that that's what their doctor said. They need not only the physical activity, but the social interaction. It's been really nice to see familiar faces back at the Y.
So, Colleen, what about at the town? Similar, different?
Yeah, very similar to what Andrea has mentioned. We've definitely seen a lot of eager people to come back into the facility, particularly for our active style programs. Our walking tracks have been quite busy. The fitness centers are now open again, and they are quite busy. As well, we've seen a really large uptake in some of our sport programs for children, particularly our multi-sport program where the kids get to try a different type of sport each week. And it gives them a taste of everything and also helps to ensure that we develop all of the physical literacy skills in one program. So we've definitely seen that rise in popularity since COVID. And much like Andrea said too, for mental health, it's definitely top of everybody's mind and making sure that we're creating opportunities for social interaction and support in the community, particularly for our seniors, but as well for our youth. Our OEAC team has done some virtual wellness nights and some activities where the youth can meet together online and do mindfulness activities, which has been really, really nice to see them be creative and still come together during the pandemic.
Now, what about numbers? Are you, because it was 2 years ago this month that this emergency descended upon us and life changed for, I don't think anybody could have imagined how life changed. How much, what's the volume of activity now? And what are you expecting relative to what it was before? Compare the future expected normal to the past normal.
For sure. I think at the moment, we're definitely with the provincial roadmap coming to an end and we're slowly returning to normal. Our intention is to gradually increase the capacities into our programs. Right now, we're probably seeing about a 50% participation rate, but people in the community are really eager to get out and to get active. So I think, from March 1st onwards here, we will see a huge increase to that, and we will slowly be getting back to our 100% capacity in most of our programs.
Wow. And same at the Y, Andrea?
I wouldn't say that we're at 50%. Maybe it's swimming lessons, probably, I would say. With our membership numbers, we aren't quite there, probably about 25%. It's been gradual for sure, but I do, like Colleen, see today, actually, I've been in touch with our membership staff, and it's been very busy today at the facility. I think people are excited to, things are opening up more and the capacity is lifted. So we're hoping, to get back up to the numbers, but it definitely, even yesterday when I was there, it definitely feels busier, and it's a nice, it's just been a nice experience for everyone. It's been safe and gradual, and it's been good. Family Day was a successful day that I know that with the town we worked together to offer programming, and that to me was the first day that it really felt like the YMCA was pre-pandemic. It was busy, it was lots of families and kids and that, and it was really a really successful day, and from what I understand at the town facilities too. So
Well, that's good. I'm imagining that the older teenagers, be they older high school kids and some college kids might be hoping to have summer work with each of us. How's that going?
Yeah, do you know what? It's been it's been slow but steady. Staffing, we've seen similar challenges to other sectors within the province and the country, and staffing has been a little bit challenging, particularly where we require a very large number of staff for things like summer camps, but as well in some of our very specialized areas, it can be difficult to find someone with that unique skill set. But we are looking forward to having a full summer camp team back with us in 2022. So our applications are actually open online right now. So I would encourage any youth who are aged 15 or over to consider applying and having a really awesome, fun summer job.
Are there opportunities at the Y, Andrea?
Yeah, same actually too. This is last year we did run camps, but at a much smaller capacity, obviously. And we're same as Colleen and with the town. We are excited to offer a full range of summer camps and having a full lots of opportunities for camp staff and aquatics programming and aquatics leadership. Certainly I think at every facility, lifeguards, you realize the importance of lifeguards and instructors. And so we're always looking for those and looking forward to a great summer camp experience. And as well, applications, we're taking them in now. I think doing some interviews over March break and looking forward to that as well. And I think in terms of members attending in that age group, we've definitely seen an increase. I think our current location in between St. Thomas and Blakelock, right after school, a huge number. We actually started a young adult membership category, which has been probably helpful in terms of getting those youth back in, and they just have indicated how good it feels to be physically active and to be working out. They can get a program with us through the Y or being able to have the opportunity to also play sports while they're there too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about childcare? Childcare is much on everybody's mind, and as I understand it, both of us have an opportunity to provide different forms of childcare, be it summer camp. I mean, you could think of summer camp as a form of childcare, but also for the little ones. And Y is a bit of a leader in this area. Do you want to explain to the folks about what you offer?
Yeah, so actually it is true that we are the YMCA is the largest provider of daycare, childcare in Oakville. We have 42 sites. 10 of them are full day childcare or full day, right? So 40 of them would be the before and after school care. Just even in the last 2 years, as new schools open in the north, we've been successfully able to offer at Dr. David R. Williams. We have licensed full day infant care, preschool care, and toddler and school age. And also we were able to offer a full day program at St. Michael's. So those would be two new ones. Even though we already had school age at St. Michael's, those would be two newer ones. But we certainly have seen less people in our childcare, but we do have the spaces available and look forward to serving the needs of the community.
What's your total capacity?
That's a good number. Actually, I don't know that off the top of my head. So I oversee the health and fitness and aquatics, not the childcare. But with that many sites, and I'm not sure the numbers now because they are less due to restrictions. But
but I would imagine that it's hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah, well, with 42 sites in Oakville, that's a lot. Almost a school, so,
Well, it's glory, fame, and honor to the Y to be the biggest provider of childcare, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
So, Colleen, what are we doing in order to serve people who are feeling like it's over and people who are feeling like they still need to be careful? Because I myself have noticed as I go around that the population seems to break into two groups, people who want to stay cautious and people who are, well, not inclined to stay cautious.
Yeah, absolutely. And that can certainly be a challenge for our programming, but our intention is to, increase our capacities in programs gradually. In our fitness centers and in lots of our programs, we're still encouraging physical distancing simply because we have the opportunity to do that. So why not? And I think to your point, it does help people feel comfortable and safe in our community centers. So we are taking still a cautious approach moving forward. However, if people don't feel comfortable coming back into our center, we still do have a few programs that are happening online or over the telephone. And in particular, in our seniors programs, that's where we see a lot of people that, for a variety of reasons, don't feel comfortable coming back yet. So we do have a few telephone programs and virtual programs that will be continuing for the next several months in that area.
And what about the why? Are you seeing the same thing, Andrea?
Yeah, I would say the same that what Colleen was saying. I would say overall the people that are coming, and we've noticed, like we'd mentioned, previous members returning, new members coming in for the first time. And I think that they're just happy to be active again. As soon as, even if people come in for a free pass just to try it once, they get a feeling like, okay, I can do this. And sometimes it's just overcoming that barrier to just, what is it going to be like? They have a perception in their minds. And as soon as they arrive and are, greeted with the friendly staff and feeling comfortable and get set up in their programs or activities, I feel like once they do it, they will, they'll come in and be able to enjoy. And we are, like Colleen, we are offering some virtual programs still as well.
So you're both seeing that the younger the person is, the more likely they are to be bold.
Well, I think we actually saw quite a few seniors actually coming back, and they just really thought it was really important for them, and socially as well as physically, and so they were actually a large group of who's returned. In the past, we always were very busy with preschoolers and parents or guardians looking, working out while their children were in programs through the daytime, and that's been our slower sort of group to return. So that's something that we're, although we have, either child minding or preschool programs during the day so that parents can work out, we just it's a bit slower than it has been, but that could be for, a variety of reasons, or people are working from home or they don't need it, or, maybe the demographics of our area has changed. But I'd say overall, it's been nice to see both children and seniors and all ages back at the Y.
Well, let's speaking of demographics changing all over town, we're getting way more culturally diverse, and I'm wondering how we're doing in terms of providing. Do we try to provide culturally specific or culturally appropriate programming for any individuals who bring special needs in that way?
Yeah, I mean, we always consider diversity and inclusion in all of the programs that we offer to the community. I think you're right. It's definitely an area where we are expanding as Oakville grows. But we certainly have seen a large uptake with our inclusion, our one-on-one support programs for our summer camp programs. Those have always been in very high demand, and that demand continues to grow year over year with people that require that service. In addition, our community development team does a lot of outreach with various community organizations, and in particular, ones dealing with diversity. So we oftentimes will engage them for feedback when we're considering to bring new programs on, and we try to bring forth programs that the community is asking for.
And that's why.
Pretty similar, yes, I would say pretty similar to Colleen. So I would agree with that. There's always opportunities, but we do, and we have been trying more so lately to. We have not been trying to. We have been completed a series of surveys and focus groups to understand what programs and services would be of most value. We've heard from members and non-members, like previous people in the community, and different diverse groups of people, and that really helped us to establish not only our phase 1 reopening, but as we're looking to the future and as we continue to layer on additional programs. We're also now working with a new data partner, Active Exchange, and they're reviewing like a local data pertaining to health status, household habits, demographics, similar providers, consumer preferences, and usage patterns. And that's really helping us with trying to determine what the needs are in the community. And I do think that we have opportunities for that. But similar to the town, our diversity and inclusion committee is really working on ensuring that we are meeting the needs of all. And I'm happy also to announce that we do with our youth. We've got a really strong presence with on that committee. So
yeah, I've noticed that from time to time, as part of inclusion, there are people who would like gender-specific programming or gender-separated programming in the name of inclusion. Are you experiencing that, Andrea? Maybe you could talk about the town.
I think that it's conversations that are happening, and I think that is where, as we're even applying for grants, we're looking at changing. Our facility is actually going to be 20 years old in September, so it's hard to believe it's been 20 years. But when you have change rooms that were created, 20 years ago, and so we are looking at more universal change rooms and spaces, and also programming in that regard. So that is in our planning going forward, and being open to those discussions and talking to people about the needs would be part of that as well.
I see.
Yeah, certainly. And but we also have inclusion and, having things like gender neutral change rooms are actually a really positive change that we're seeing in the community. And although they can be a little bit nerve-wracking for people who aren't familiar with them at first, we've had a lot of great feedback from adults and seniors when they can come into a change room and perhaps, help a spouse who, is aging with changing and getting ready for their swim. So it's actually been really well received by all age groups that we service. So, it is an interesting topic and something that we continue to explore with the community. And I think we'll grow with more gender inclusive services in the future.
Well, I know as a parent, I could have, because I had daughters and sons, there were times I could have used a little advanced thinking like this. But I was actually thinking in terms of requests that I've seen for women-only swim periods and things like that. Are we servicing that need?
Yeah, so we did pre-COVID offer some women's only swims at a couple of our pool locations. And obviously COVID has definitely thrown a wrench into some of our scheduling, but it definitely is on the table for consideration. And I'd have to touch base with my aquatic counterparts to see where we're at with that moving forward, because I don't particularly oversee that area, but it was something that we did offer pre-COVID.
Well, at the town, we do bend over backwards to try to serve the needs of our residents. That's a little commercial I just threw in there. I'd like to know how each of you got into this line of work. What attracted you? And what did you have to do? When I talk to kids, I'm often invited to schools. They always ask, what do you need in order to do your job? What do you need in order to do your job?
That is a great question. So I actually have a background in health science and leisure studies. And then I did some post-secondary master's education in human kinetics. So I actually got into this line of work through more so the fitness industry and the physical activity industry. But I was really looking for a unique job that where I wouldn't have to sit at a desk all day is really how I got into it. And then just completely fell in love with the opportunity to help service the community and to help people stay active for the duration of their life. So that's how I got into this and my background, but I'll pass it over to Andrea.
Well, I've actually been involved for 25 years at the YMCA. I think Colleen's been around a long time too, but so it's hard when you think back. I mean, I actually have more of a business background and came from that previously, but it was just that. Then it was actually for me became the helping the community and getting involved. I think, and like Colleen, my every day is different. It's never a dull moment with my role, and I really enjoy that. And I think that it's good if you have the flexibility and open to opportunities. But I think business would be was an important part of, being responsible for a whole facility and different, so that is important for this role. And customer service, obviously, and is good.
So would you say that when you were children, you were the kids who wanted to be outside playing and running and doing all those things rather than maybe trying to avoid it?
Yeah, I was involved in, I think, every sports, all through high school and even university. And so just always active and outside and always been physically active. So it's been a good fit for me for sure.
So there you go, parents. If you
Mhm.
start your kids active, they stay active. Look at the evidence here. All right, and do you, if you have children, are they following in your footsteps with activity?
Yep, I've got twin boys. They're 16 now, and they've always been involved in a lot of activities. Currently, mostly in hockey still, which has been great. But yes, I think it's important for all children, and they've grown up at the Y in a variety of different programs. So
And well, do they play in Oakville?
they have, but we actually don't live there anymore. But they did used to play with the Rangers. Yeah.
Oh, good. That's
Yeah.
where my
Yeah.
kids play.
Yeah.
So, we have that in common.
Yes.
And Colleen, what about you?
So I don't have any children of my own yet, but I do have a couple nieces and nephews who are just babies right now. So I'm very much looking forward to getting them into some recreational programs and having an opportunity to be active with them moving forward.
So you'll be practicing on your brothers and sisters' kids, I guess.
Exactly.
Well, that's excellent. Now, what's the biggest thing you expect, rapid fire here? What's the biggest thing you expect to happen this summer in recreation? Andrea?
Well, I think when you think summer camp. So there's lots of, when I think about that, I'm so excited that we've got a variety of activities in summer camp, for everything from horseback riding to aquatics leadership to explorers camp. So there's lots of opportunities for a variety of sports and recreation for children, for sure.
And Colleen, what's the biggest thing you expect to see happen?
Much like Andrea, I think we're so excited to bring back all of our specialty programs, and I think they're going to be quite popular with the community since we haven't been able to offer them the past 2 years. We're also bringing back all of our leadership opportunities for youth. So I'm very excited to have some leaders in training and some volunteers back into our camp programs.
Yes.
Well,
we're
thank you
excited
very
for
much.
volunteers and appreciative for them. That was a good mention for that, Colleen.
Thank you very much for sharing all this with the public, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Oakville Matters.